3 years ago, my ex broke up with me, seemingly out of nowhere. We had just spent 6 weeks designing the perfect engagement ring. After searching for the perfect jeweler for months, we even decided that his mom was going to officiate our wedding. And then he broke up with me. He said he wasn't healed yet from his last marriage, which I now know is bullshit because I recently found out that he was cheating on me. Now, by the time I found this out, I've already been long healed from the situation. But I really want to talk to you about this because he seemed like the quintessential nice guy. He was doting and loving and supportive and completely obsessed with me. Looking back, the signs were there because towards the end of our relationship, he would not talk to me. He would lock himself in his office and play video games and wouldn't communicate at all. We also both worked remote and spent almost all of our time together, so I have no idea how he pulled this off. And apparently he's still with that girl and they're engaged. After being completely blindsided by the breakup 3 years ago, I decided to go inward. I did a lot of healing. I hired coaches and therapists, and I was a recluse for a while just nursing my broken heart. I also had the ultimate glow up. I lost 30 pounds. I got a 6-pack and got into the best shape of my life, landed an incredible remote job in tech, bought a car after living in the city for 5 years, drove across the country, and started a brand new life in Arizona. I've been healing, building community, building friendships, and working on just getting hotter and better every single day. And my ex, well, he's been married, divorced, and engaged twice, all to 3 different women within 5 years. Look, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a confused guy. Like many men, they think a new relationship and a new love is going to solve all their problems, fill their voids, and make everything better without taking accountability and taking the proper time to heal and change. When I was in therapy after that relationship, it was fucking ugly. I had to face patterns and part of myself that I didn't want to face. But I knew if I didn't, I'd be bringing that shit into my next relationship. I had to realize how much I was sweeping under the rug. All the red flags I decided to unconsciously ignore. I had to take accountability and responsibility for all of that, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done. But you know what? I love who I've become in the process. I have been through really difficult shit in my life, and that breakup was definitely one of them. And we definitely don't have time to get into the childhood trauma right now. But really feeling, knowing, and acknowledging how resilient I am is truly priceless. This is where lasting self-confidence truly comes from. And now at 36, I truly believe that I've alchemized so much pain into power that I am ready for the beautiful and divine relationship that I've been dreaming about my whole life. But if we're being honest, whether it comes or not is completely inconsequential. I'm content. I'm truly fucking happy. I love myself and my own company. Whether this divine relationship that I know I deserve happens in 10 years, 20 years, or never, I know that I will be satisfied and fulfilled and happy for the rest of my life either way.
You see, so you may not know it just yet, but that breakup may just be your biggest blessing. And today's stories are a proof of that. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in once again. So today we're going to be looking at stories of women who bounced back better, healthier, richer, because they went through one of the lowest times of their lives. A breakup, which eventually turned out to be their biggest blessing. So something I've learned in this life is there's an unwritten rule of life that I believe in. For every low, there's a high. For every time that it seems like it was the lowest time in my life, it spiraled me into the greatest discoveries in my life, the greatest successes, the greatest blessings in my life. Life is just basically how you see it. It's all about perspective. If you have a strong belief that no matter what happens in life, you're going to be okay, you're going to come out stronger, you're going to come out more powerful, more successful. If you approach everything in life with a positive mindset, life would always point you to positivity, to success. Like everything would always work out for your good. And this is actually like basically what I'm saying in all the stories. It's all about you, how you see it. Yes, we're talking about breakups, divorces, end of a marriage. Yeah, it's all the same thing because it marks the end of a stage in someone's life. But the question is, do you stay there or do you move on to better things? What do you think life is trying to teach you from there? What level do you think life is trying to skyrocket you into?
Why is it that women, when they go through a breakup, they start leveling up so quickly? It's almost like they quantum leap into a new reality and they become insanely successful. They get a PhD, they buy a new house, they get a brand new Mercedes Benz, all because they shed the weight of a relationship. I remember when I swore off of dating for 2 whole years, no dating, no intimacy, no talking stages, just completely decentering men. I had the most massive level up in my life. I went from driving for Uber Eats to running a multi-million-dollar business this all by myself online. I was not allowing anyone to drain my energies. So if you're a girl and you want to quantum leap and you have some dead weight in your life, cut that shit out. Just cut it out. It's not worth being held back and drained.
Now let's take a look at some comments. Someone said, because we were with energy vampires that fed off of our lights. After my breakup, I got a luxury apartment, new car in 1 week. Someone said, facts. I decided to be celibate this year, 5 months in, and I finally finished my undergrad. My skin got better and I also lost 15 pounds so far. That lets you know the man was always the problem. I'm leveling up right now and it feels so good. So someone said, women are so much better off single. We've evolved past the need for male companionship. Yeah, I think for a lot of women this is true, because right now a lot of women don't even want to date. A lot of women are choosing to be single by choice, and I think it has a lot to do with leaving out both sides. When a woman has tested both sides, maybe let's say you've been booed up, you've been married before, and now you're single. Majority of women would say that their quality of life was better, way better, when they were single than when they were booed up, when they were married. So I think that's the shift basically. Like, we're all witnesses to this. This is what is happening. And this is what is causing the whole shift in mindsets, that a lot of women do want to be single. So yeah, like, leave that toxic man alone today. A lot of people have attachment issues. They don't know how to let go of people, toxic situations, even if they know that those relationships are not beneficial to them. They will not let go. But a breakup is usually their saving grace when that partner leaves them. For some of them, that would be their liberation. I kicked my husband out and now all the things I wanted, I have. And I'm like, wow, you really did hold me back. Exactly. Sometimes it's that relationship holding you back. Sometimes you're too hyper fixated on a person, on a relationship, that you forget yourself. I mean, it's typically in a woman's nature to sometimes be hyper fixated on a particular thing, because like, it's how we're created. But we do this sometimes to our own detriment. Yeah. When we place all our focus on a relationship, on a man, and forget ourselves, we forget to live. We forget to pour into ourselves until, of course, a breakup. So yeah, a breakup is always not a curse. Sometimes it's just a blessing in disguise.
Please tell me y'all seen that meme that's like 2 days after a breakup, a woman already got $20,000 in her savings account, 5 degrees, a down payment on a house, a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Like, her life just skyrockets right after a breakup from a toxic person. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So I know why that is. It's because all the time that you spend in mental confusion and emotional disarray trying to figure out why this toxic person isn't treating you right and doesn't see your value when you see theirs, and they're not reciprocating the energy and love that you give to them, and it's just mental chaos all over the place. You're spending so much time and energy in this shit show of a relationship that you can't even focus on your passion and purpose because you're putting so much of your energy here. So when you finally cut off that energy, now you can actually put it into the shit you're supposed to be paying attention to. And that's why life goes on, baby. Let them go. That's the moral of the story.
You glow different after a separation. That's so true. I've never been happier. I've never been more at peace. My skin's clearing up. My hair's growing. I don't have stress in my life that's not needed. Do you understand how powerful I feel being alone? I've gotten to work on myself. I've gotten to feed myself, to do things that I never could do before because I always had to think of somebody else. I am 35 years old and I look the best I've ever looked, feel the best I've ever felt. And it's not about that, but I also feel it internally and mentally.
Yeah, and that's the result of pouring back into yourself. Instead of pouring all your energy, your efforts into a partner, you're pouring it back to yourself. You're calling back your energy to yourself. And this is the result that these ladies are seeing. It shows that we were never created to be stressed out. We were never created to not cater to ourselves. We were never created to forget ourselves and, pour into a man and make his concerns our concerns. No. I believe for a woman to always look better and more beautiful, more stronger, healthier, when she's pouring into herself, when she's being taken care of, when she's catering to herself, or she's being catered to. I believe that's the natural order of things. That was how the creator of this universe created us to be. We were created to not be stressed out. Check out all the women that literally stress themselves out. They look bad. They're sick. They're unhappy. They look stressed out. They have autoimmune diseases. So as a woman, you were not created to carry all those burdens. Anytime you see yourself suffering, carrying the burden of the world on your neck, carrying the burden of your partner on your neck, girl, just know you're doing it the wrong way. If you find yourself in a relationship stressing yourself out, crying, pouring your energy into someone else, that's not pouring into you. You are going against the natural order of things, and it's not good for you.
I'm actually on a mission to prove to all of the girlies that breakups are the most positive, life-changing experience that you're ever going to have. So tell me when a horrific breakup changed your life for the better. I'll go first. So I was dating this guy that made me question every single positive thing I ever thought about myself. I thought I was so unattractive. I all of a sudden thought I was like needy and had an attachment, which was never me before. He was literally incapable of showing me any sort of affection, even though we were literally boyfriend and girlfriend. He acted like he hated me every single day. Naturally, that caused me to question my own self-worth. And I found myself every single day playing tug of war for affection with the most nonchalant man you will ever meet in your life. After gathering the last pieces of dignity I had from the floor and breaking up with him, I found myself like crying in the mirror one night thinking, how the F did I get here? This is my 4th relationship and all of them have been weird and toxic and bare minimum in their own unique ways. I looked in the mirror and I realized, oh my God, the problem is me. New Year's was right around the corner and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself. 1 year, no male validation, no talking stages, no dates, no relationships, no boys. And I set the theme of that year to be self-love. I didn't know what it meant. I'd never practiced it before. I was the type of girl that was a serial dater, so I was constantly jumping in and out of relationships. So I was terrified and I was so addicted to external validation. I'd never spent enough time on my own, but despite it being so hard and lonely in the beginning, it literally changed my life. I learned so many lessons and I really felt like I was in it alone. I didn't find any books that were on self-love or content at that time. I literally became a published author because of it. If this isn't proof that breakups sometimes really are the experiences you need to become your best self, I don't know what is.
Now let's look at the comment section. I left at 30. In 10 years, I've gone back to uni, graduated with first class, left the corporate world, started my own business, had my kid, bought 2 houses, and fly first class now. It always gets better after the breakup. My last relationship had my sweat turning bright effing orange. I was like, why does my sweat stink so bad lately? Thought I was just getting older. Nope, it was stress. Gone back to normal since. Someone said, I went to law school, started a business, now have financial freedom. Breakup changed my life. A lot of men intentionally would try to hold back a woman by making you feel like nothing, like crap every day. If you stay around positive people for a very long time, you begin to act like them. You begin to emulate their character. If you stay around someone who's pouring into you, who believes in you, let's say a friendship where everyone is positive, everyone is working to see each other win, pouring into each other, you definitely want to win too. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a partner, but if you find yourself in a positive space, naturally, you go with the flow. You will see yourself growing. Same way if you stay in a negative environment with a person who's constantly bringing you down, a person who's not letting you grow, who's not letting you be the best version of yourself, who does not see your value and your worth. Mind you, these are low vibrational traits. You are going to remain in that low vibrational state. You're never going to see yourself grow. You're never going to evolve. You're never going to grow. It's very important the kind of people you stay around. It's very important the kind of man you get with if you must be in a relationship. If a person you're involved with does not see your value and does not see your worth, they are somehow going to convince you not to see your worth. And you're going to keep on diminishing for yourself for them.
I'm not pro-divorce, but I'm just saying, my divorce was the catalyst to my happiness. My divorce opened the doors to my freedom. My divorce allowed me to stop living a mediocre lifestyle and actually create the life that I'd always dreamed that I would have while I was married. So for me, divorce, while it was the most devastating part of my life, ended up being the biggest blessing for my life.
So I have a theory on why people glow up. And before I tell you my theory, I'm going to show you what I mean by example from how I went from looking like this to looking like this, even though I'm much older now. Think of it as a physical and energetic detox. When you're under high stress for long periods of time, your cortisol increases, which results in physical manifestations. You've heard the body keeps the score. Well, the body will cuss you out and let you know in a nonverbal way that people and situations are not right for you by showing up and showing out in physical ways, such as you developing a rounder face, brittle nails, hair falling out, gaining or losing weight, getting hives, getting nauseous and sick, and having physical responses to people that are bad for you. So naturally, when you detach from these situations and circumstances and people, your body responds accordingly. And that's when you start getting the comments of, oh my God, your skin is glowing. Yeah, no shit. I got rid of the toxic people.
I entered my rich girl era the day I moved out of my ex-husband's house, which was technically my house, but he stayed there, Well, I was living in my sister's basement with all three of my kids in one room because he wouldn't move into his aunt's house, who had plenty of room for my kids and him to stay while we went through this process. But no, I had to move out anyways. That's water under the bridge. I stood in my convictions, walked into a therapist's office with $500 of cash. I had $1,000 to my name, and I handed it to him. I said, it's your job to help make sure I never do this again. And he was like, no, you can't give me this. You can't give me this envelope. You can pay per session. I'm like, no. That was the first time I ever fucking put the money down and was like, I'm working on myself. I was desperate, okay? I don't think you need to be desperate to find help. Rock bottom is overrated, but there we were. I entered my rich girl era that day because it was the day that I was like, no more compromise. No more putting all of myself into relationship, into things that aren't giving me a return on my investment. There are many things in your life that can take away an ROI from you. There's bitterness, anger, resentment. We've got the emotional output, right? We've got friendships that are full of drama that are taking all of this away from you. You've got your ex messaging you and you're spiraling every time he messages you and you stew on it for 24 hours instead of being able to work through that or focus on working through that so that when he messages you, it's like, yeah, transaction, right? Your life has only so much time, energy, and attention. And it's up to you to decide where you decide to invest that.
I want to just go back to the first thing I said. I said, before there's a high, there's always a low. Like, it's a universal law of the universe, even though it's unwritten, right? This phenomenon just sounds like the humiliation ritual. People that believe in cosmology, people that believe in spirituality, they would often tell you that before someone gets into new heights, before you experience a type of success, you have to go through the humiliation ritual. And it's so true, honestly, because I don't think there's any person that has attained any sort of success that did not get their hands dirty. Now, I don't mean the typical kind of dirty that we know. I mean dirty in the sense that you have to go through something, you have to put in the work, you have to sacrifice, it has to take something from you. So in this life, everything has an opposite effect. For there to be a high, there has to be a low. For failure to exist, success exists. For light to exist, darkness has to exist. So for every disappointment, for every low we experience, there's a high to experience. For every disappointment, there's a blessing to experience. For you to get into the next level, there has to be a death of the old you. So I think this is what happens when people go through difficult breakups. You may not know it, but you asked for it. You asked for that next level. And now you're experiencing it. You may never know that for you to experience that happiness you've always wished for, you may never find it in that relationship. for you to experience your success, your independence, for you to experience life to the fullest, you just need to let go of some load, and that may include your relationship. This is why I try as much as possible to see the positive in every situation, because trust me, as long as life exists, there's a reason for every disappointment. There's a reason why you met a person. There's a lesson from it. It's just how it all depends on your mindset. Like your mindset, a positive mindset is all you need to go through life successfully.
Honestly, I'm super glad that my relationship ended, and here's why. So I was in an 8-year relationship. If you've been following me for a while, I've shared a lot about it on my page, and it was one of the most debilitating chapters of my life because I lost not only my person, but I lost my best friend, my safe space, everything. And that is honestly why I'm glad that the relationship ended, because the fact that I looked to this person outside of me, viewing them as my everything, my love of my life, my best friend, my person, my safe space, everything, is a bit alarming in the grand scheme of things. And it wasn't until I left the relationship that I realized that. It wasn't until I left the relationship that I realized I had some serious codependency issues, some serious attachment wounds, some serious insecurities that I never fully worked through. And it wasn't until I was forced to be by myself that I was able to work through them. And so there's one huge reason why I'm glad that the relationship ended, because if it hadn't, I would have remained exactly the same, and I would have just kept these cycles of attachment and insecurity and codependency on loop. Another reason why I'm glad that the relationship ended is because it has forced me outside my comfort zone. It has forced me to really just step into new areas and new environments and be around new people that I normally wouldn't have back then. I've been solo traveling now for many times since the relationship ended. I've put myself in these crazy situations where I've been able to meet like-minded people who have inspired me and motivated me and helped me grow in so many ways. And it's helped me grow so fucking much. Truly, solo travel has just given me so much more confidence and has boosted my self-esteem in ways that I can't even articulate. And if it weren't for my relationship ending, I wouldn't have ever started solo traveling. I wouldn't have ever done it. Like, I could say that maybe I would have, but the reality is I went on solo trips because I realized I can't wait for someone else to start living my life. Like, if I want to see the world, if I want to do these things that I want to do, I can't wait on anyone else to do it. And so I forced myself to do it. And I have had the best experiences solo traveling. Like, truly some of the best moments of my life have been when I've been solo traveling. And then the third reason I'm glad that my relationship ended is because I've been able to meet people that I didn't know existed. Like, I was in a relationship for all of my 20s. It was an 8-year relationship, and don't get me wrong, I fucking love this man, and I still do. We are very civil, we're friendly, and he means so much to me. But since being single and like putting myself out there are people that are a lot more compatible for me than I could have ever imagined. And I'm not currently in a relationship. I am seeing someone right now, but I've dated people since coming out of my relationship that have just shown me what else is out there. Have shown me people who have a lot more aligned interests, who want to move, who want to travel, and just like so many other things. And so I'm incredibly grateful that I've been able to meet these people.
How are you experiencing your maturity? Because we're near it, but you are becoming even more. How do you think about that? How do you articulate that?
I always say this is the happiest I've ever been in every area of life. Mm-hmm. It seemed as if when I was younger, when business was great, prime example, Breakup, then #1 record. Like, well, damn. Couldn't they just go hand in hand? Couldn't you just be happily married and have a #1 record? Those don't happen. Now the balance of joy in all things, it's really there. And I'm unapologetic. I think that's the most fun. Yeah. When I don't want to go, I don't feel like I need to give a reason. Yeah. I'm not coming. Yeah. When I don't feel okay, I don't have to explain it. I just don't feel okay today. I'm confident in those things, and I know that anywhere I'm supposed to be, I'll be there. If something doesn't work out, I'm not crying about the things that don't happen anymore. There is just this joy that has overtaken. Now, I enjoy the way I look more now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even pick it apart.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I like.
Yeah.
I know what works on me, whether it's on trend or not.
Yes.
It's what I'm buying. It's what I'm doing. It's that, I don't know. It's just the joy. I like the way that I speak. I used to say, oh my God, I might have said it too stern. I don't question myself anymore. I said it exactly how I was supposed to. If you don't understand it, you're bad.
I hope someone is encouraged out there. That breakup may just be your biggest blessing. It may not be a breakup, maybe the end of something you wanted so bad, something you were holding on to so bad. It may be something very important to you. It may be someone very important to you. It might even be a friendship. But life has its own way of redirecting our footsteps, pointing us to the right direction for our life. All you just have to do is go with the flow and have a stern belief that everything works out for your good. Like I said, every disappointment is a blessing. It's just your mindset is all that matters. Your view about life is all that matters. If you believe life happens for you and not to you, life is going to be happening for you. Things are going to happen for your sake. Every disappointment, everything you see as a tragedy, you're going to find out that it was just life pointing you to the right direction. It was a blessing in disguise. It was a discovery. It was a new discovery for you. It was something positive. So yeah, like we should always have a positive mindset. That relationship ending may just be your biggest blessing. That breakup may just be your next level right there. No one holds the key to your happiness. You decide your happiness. You decide if you're going to be happy or not. You decide if a situation is going to make you or mar you. And on that note, we've come to the end of this video. Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. I remain your girl Joy. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel in case you're not subscribed. And of course, share to anyone you think might be interested in this conversation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a blessed day. Bye.